There's been a lot of negative talk when it comes to AEW. Don't get me wrong, most of it is justified, but some of the negativity gets a little bit petty. I understand why people feel some type of way about how Tony Khan runs his company, because I'm not the biggest fan either. I don't want to say this out loud, but AEW is a really bad show.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I want AEW to succeed, but the formula that Tony Khan has been using for the past 3 years just isn't working. Actually, let me correct myself. It works for that small segment of wrestling fans that is going to watch the week-to-week nonsense and claim that AEW is the greatest thing ever. Also the same fans that get on your ass on social media if you have even the slightest criticism about the product. Tony Khan's booking and the toxic-ass AEW fanbase are two of the many things that I personally can't stand about the product. Like deadass, bro, sometimes I just want to reach through my phone and strangle you motherfucker. However, the one aspect that does keep me tuning in each week is that there are a handful of talented wrestlers under contract that I feel could be major players if given a proper push. And no, I'm not talking about getting thrown into some random program for a few weeks and getting slapped down to YouTube to feud with goddamn Serpentico. I think Tony Khan should focus on fresh, young talent, as well as good veteran talent that could draw a few ratings for the company. Tony needs to build up some new names because most of the wrestlers in main event spots are starting to get up there in age. Plus, as we've seen from AEW's ratings this summer, Tony needs talent that can carry the company when your big names get injured. As you beautiful intellectuals already read from the title, I narrowed down AEW's thick-ass roster to 10 talents that Tony Khan should put his stock in for the future. Disclaimer, this is just my opinion, so don't headbutt your keyboard too hard in the comments, alright? So, the top 10 talents that Tony Khan should push in 2023. Just sit back, relax, get a glass of wine, sip on a nice coconut, and let's talk about it. Number 10. The Gun Club. AEW fans talk a lot about how the tag division in AEW is so great, but in actuality, it's not all that hot. Obviously, you have your good matches here and there, and of course the spot fests, but there aren't any mainstream tag teams besides another team that we'll get to a little bit later on this list. And no, I'm not talking about the Young Bucks. Tag team wrestling needs to be more than just spot fests. The Gun Club has shown that they can be taken seriously as a main event tag team if Tony Khan gave them a proper program. It honestly sucks that they've been booked as a jobber team, but I firmly believe the Ass Boys can be a top level heel tag team if given the right tools for success. Austin and Colton have great chemistry together and can actually work, not just do moves. I am in full support of Tony Khan if he decides to make the Gun Club one of his top tag teams in AEW in 2023. Number 9. Jamie Hayter. It's no secret now, AEW's women's division is garbage. But Tony has a few talented women's wrestlers that could easily carry the division. Jamie Hayter is crazy underrated. I hate that she's been seen as more of a stooge for Britt Baker, but with a proper opportunity, boy, she would be amazing. In comparison to most of the women on the roster, Hayter is definitely up there with Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa. This division needs serious competitors in serious programs for it not to be seen as a bathroom break segment every single week. Jamie Hayter is a great wrestler and I think she deserves a good shot to show what she can do. Tony desperately needs to go back to square one and treat the women's title scene with the same importance as the world title. I love Thunder Rosa, and Jade Cargill is alright, but if I'm Tony Khan, I'm putting one of those belts on Jamie Hayter in 2023 and treating her like a big deal in that women's division. And if not her, then maybe the other woman I have on this list. Number 8. Big Boy, Powerhouse Hobbs. Yeah, I know, he's in a program right now, but in my opinion, this is 3 years too late, Tony. He should have been built as a serious competitor since he got signed. Like, bruh, look at him. How could you keep someone that looks like this off TV for so long? It honestly felt like Homeboy was in the witness protection program or something. Oh, and don't think I forgot about him jobbing to Orange Cassidy in like 10 seconds on Dark. He's somebody that could easily be built up as a serious monster heel. Build him up as an absolute menace and have him tear up the whole roster. I'm talking about some Brock Lesnar type Black Air Force energy. I'm very curious to see what Tony Khan does with him in this program with Ricky Starks, because if Hobbs loses, it'll definitely hurt him in the long run. Hobbs can be a main event star and should be in 2023. Number 7, Samoa Joe. I feel so bad for Samoa Joe. For the past few years, he's been on and off with injuries, and people seem to forget how good Joe really is. And one of the main reasons for that is because he's barely seen on AEW television. I forget he's even on the roster half the time. Sure, he's the ROH TV champ, but damn, at least give him something to do. ROH right now is the equivalent of WWE ECW, except that ECW was actually on TV. If booked properly, Samoa Joe can add so much intrigue to this main event picture. We know this dude is legit. In 2023, Tony Khan needs to shake up the title picture. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's tired of seeing the same guys doing the same things on TV every week. Samoa Joe is a great wrestler and he's amazing on the mic. I want AEW to look like a real wrestling program. And with that, I'd put some stock in Samoa Joe to help carry that main event picture like he did when he was in his bag in 2017. Plus, he is getting up there in age, so your time window of using him is starting to run a little short. Number 6, Kris Statlander. At the time of this video, she's out of action with a knee injury. Honestly, she's someone else that I feel so bad for. She's been showing a more serious side and has improved so much in the ring. It honestly felt like she was being built up to be the woman to finally take down Jade Cargill. I am a huge Statlander fan for the same reasons I talked about with Jamie Hayter. She has good size and is levels above most women on the AEW roster. It really does suck that her momentum was derailed because of this injury, but when she gets back, she'll be an awesome addition to the women's title picture. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm keeping her seat warm for when she's healthy, and giving her the spotlight that a lot of fans have been waiting for her to have. Number 5, Bryan Danielson. Okay, so this is actually going to be more of a mini rant, so here we go. Bryan Danielson has been nerfed so hard by Tony Khan. When he first got to AEW, he was putting on bangers left and right, and was absolutely killing it as a heel. I tuned in most weeks just to watch whatever Danielson was doing. There is no reason why he should have been put in a stable. Even if it's what he wanted to do, Tony Khan should have been like, get your ass out there, keep being a great heel, and draw me some ratings. Instead, he's in the Blackpool Combat Club. Like, what do they even do? They just bite necks and kneecaps and kick dogs? I don't know. He lost a lot of momentum when he stopped being a singles competitor. Bryan Danielson and CM Punk are in the same company. The story is already there. Free Bryan Danielson in 2023 and have him draw you some damn ratings, Tony. Number 4, FTR. For me, FTR is the undisputed best tag team in the world. They just have that old school feel to them and their work is phenomenal. I've loved them since NXT when they were the Revival, but they've made believers out of a lot of other fans in 2022. They're hands down the best tag team in AEW because their stuff makes sense and they can have a great match with anybody. With all that being said, why are they on my list? Because like Samoa Joe, we barely got to see them on TV. Until they started winning tag belts from other companies, they were either doing meaningless angles or sitting in catering. If Tony's looking to beef up his division, FTR has to be the top team. That means putting the actual company belts on them and allow them to elevate other new tag teams. Imagine how much young tag teams like the Gun Club, who we talked about earlier, Private Party, or even the Acclaimed could learn from FTR. Like, imagine having 5 serious tag teams on the roster like FTR. No more circus monkey, flippin', tope, suicida, super kick teams. Keep that stuff on Dark or something. Make logical tag team wrestling a draw again and allow FTR to lead the charge. Number 3. Wardlow. I'm gonna keep this short. I made a video already on how I feel about Tony Khan's booking of Wardlow. He turned a beast into just another guy on the roster. People were going crazy about him during his program with MJF. And now, like others on this list, I forget he's even still on the roster at times. Make Wardlow a beast again. How do you do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Stop making him do what everyone else is doing. He's not going to stand out and be special if he's having 20-minute competitive matches with guys he should easily send to the Shadow Realm. Guys like Batista and Brock Lesnar stood out because they were different. Brock Lesnar wasn't going 30 minutes on television with goddamn Jamie Noble. It's really not too late for Tony Khan to make Wardlow a beast again. But if he's gonna do it, it has to be now, because the honeymoon phase after that MJF program is starting to wear out. Number 2. Ricky Starks. Criminal. Absolutely criminal that now he's getting his push. Ricky Starks gets it. He has it. He is it. He is that guy. He was the FTW champion for no reason. He was in the same spot throughout the whole duration of that reign. And that spot was either in a throwaway match on Dark or Rampage, and no one watches either of those. Ricky Starks needs to be a main feature on Dynamite moving forward. He doesn't necessarily need to be in the main event scene, but for the love of God, give the guy a proper push and actually elevate him. The fans have been waiting for it for a long time. He's a prime example of a talent that's suffered from the influx of ex-WWE talent that Tony Khan keeps bringing in. 2023 needs to be Ricky Starks' breakout year. To me, this guy is a walking bag of money. But honestly, I couldn't put him at number 1 on my list. The individual at number 1 is the man that Tony Khan, if not anyone else on this list, needs to throw his whole checkbook at. Or his dad's. Number 1. MJF. MJF is a true student of the game in every sense. The guy can talk, he can work, and he can draw ratings. Whenever that man has a microphone in his hand, he's basically printing money for Tony Khan. He put Dynamite on his back for the majority of 2022 and gave us the best promo of the year. Was it a work? Was it a shoot? No one knows, and that is how you create interest. That is how you know a promo was amazing. It got people talking. But what happens after that? He's off TV for months, and there goes his momentum. Tony Khan, pay this man, please. The show has been a steaming pile of ass since he's been gone. His segments were the only redeeming quality of Dynamite each week. He is the biggest young star that AEW has under contract. If and when he comes back, Tony Khan needs to pay him and let him carry the future of AEW on his back. Otherwise, there's another new regime that will happily pay him if Tony Khan fumbles. But that's my list. I genuinely hope that in 2023, we at least see a few of the talents on this list get featured better on Dynamite. Tony Khan shouldn't just have a roster full of name value talent from WWE. He needs to book his shows for the future of his company, not the present. Unfortunately, he's probably going to keep bringing in more and more people, and his booking is likely going to stay the same, so I'm not going to hold my breath. But I want to know what you think. Who from this list do you feel that Tony Khan should feature heavily in 2023? Or tell me who you feel I left off. Of course, let me know.